Welcome back to our podcast, From Ideas to Income.
I'm excited.
You sound excited.
I am excited. I'm really excited.
Okay. Well, you don't have to be that excited.
Oh.
So,
Boo!
so I had a really cool conversation with someone in, not my cohort, but a cohort adjacent at my MBA class. She runs a school for Chinese-speaking children, and she's teaching them English. So let's get into the interview.
Let's go!
This is Alisa Chen.
Yes.
And thank you for being on my podcast. My podcast is basically, I talk to small business owners who, you've heard it.
Yes. Super cool.
Thank you. And small business owners that, and so the audience is other people that want to start a business, but either they don't know how or they're kind of scared about it. It also, a big part of my audience is other business owners who are small because they want to hear, is this first year normal kind of a thing? And so thanks again for being on my podcast. So Professor Chen, what do you like to go by? just
You can just call me Alisa for now. Yeah. Well, I have students call me Professor Chen, but yeah, just Alisa. It's good.
Okay. Well, Alisa runs a school that teaches English to people who primarily speak Chinese.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she's going to UVU currently as a student, like a international student, and that's how we met. And so she said that I can interview her. So thanks again.
Wow. I was like, wow, Dan, you want to interview me? Are you sure about that? Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm happy that he thinks that I'm cool. So
everyone here thinks you're cool.
Thanks.
So I know nothing about your school. You told me a little bit about it here and there. So let's go back to the beginning, like before you started the school. Or I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of like an online program, right?
Yes.
So before you started that, how did you come up with the idea? And when you had the idea, how did you start that up? Like, how did you start going in that direction? Was there anybody that inspired you? Like, how'd that go?
Actually, this idea came from COVID. You know, like I graduated during COVID. So it was 2020, like around, I want to say March till May, around that time. And so I was like finishing up school and I was like, okay, I need to do something. Cause like since growing up, like I always had plans. My plans always like 2 to 3 years long, like go to school and then I want to do volunteer. I want to do this. I want to travel and there are always plans. But then like I was like finishing up school. I was like, okay, what's next? And then COVID hit and I was like, okay, I don't know what's next because it looks like my plan just got ruined because I was doing elementary education and then I wanted to get certification and I want to get into teaching because that's my thing. I love it so much. And also during that time, I think everything happens for reasons and everything happens like there's always stories in the back. I actually was dating somebody and like it was really serious. And then we kind of like so young, we're still like in college and he graduated and he was like doing his own thing. And I was like, okay, now what? And so I kind of just like, pandemic was just crazy thing. So I went back to Taiwan and then I kind of just being childish, I broke up with him like in a really toxic way.
Oh no.
But then I really wanted to like fix that problem. And I want to like, I want to chase him back, but I was in Taiwan then. And so I had to go back to America to like see him. And that was like the only way I can like try to like fix things. But the problem is I don't have money. How can I do it? Right. And my plan was like, okay, I'm just going to go somewhere close to him and to figure out our relationship. But money is a problem. And I cannot work in the United States as a visitor with my visiting visa. And so I was like, okay, what skills do I have and what can I make money while I'm visiting him? So I was like, why not just do like an online thing? Everybody's doing online. And so I was like, well, but like what online though? I was like, I can teach because that's my degree. I can teach English maybe, and I can just make money. And so that was like a beginning, like, okay, I want to do that. So I kind of started my business from there. I flew to Hawaii. That's where he was at, and I just start like looking for clients or like looking for people who want to like do better with English or like looking for students. And I found plenty actually. Like I was there in Hawaii for 6 months, and then like my little business was able to like help me for that period of time.
And those are Chinese speaking people that you found?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that like a Chinese website or something? Like how did you find those people?
So when I went back to Taiwan, right? And then when I went back to Taiwan, in that where I was at is a really small community, and it's like people hear things and then they spread out. And then I heard this girl was coming back from America, and somehow a principal heard that in a school. And so while I was doing my quarantine, he heard I was coming back, and he was like, during that time, all the American teachers were all kicked out of the country. They had to go back to America or the UK or wherever they were from. And they needed some people who can speak like English to teach them English. So I was like hired immediately after I came out from the quarantine, and I started teaching. And so it was like a private school. So people kind of heard about me teaching in school. And so like I have some students from there, like they want to learn extra English from me online. And also I was during that time, I was like really searching where I can get students from. And I found a lot of websites, people were looking for teachers. And it was actually really hard for me because I was not a business person at all. I just know how to teach. I don't know anything else. So it was hard for me to like really try to figure out how that works. But I actually found some people who like they moved to America, but they speak zero English. And then they want to look for teachers who can help them to like just like have some little English to help them to like get groceries and like, do little things for daily lifestyle, just daily stuff. So I was able to like find these people, and they pay me US dollars. And at the same time, I also like getting students from back home in Taiwan where I can get like Taiwan dollar as well. So I just making like money from these people.
Wow. Now I can understand that, right? Because we went to Peru, and I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So if I moved to Peru, I would totally get that, like not understanding vocabulary. So searching somebody out.
Yeah.
Because natives normally speak fast, so it's really hard to be able to pick that up. I could totally see the value of that. So what was the first steps you took to test out the idea to see if there was a real market for this?
Well, I feel like for the time when I was teaching in that private school, I had to like get my students, because it wasn't like a class set for me. Like, oh, there are like how many students go teach. It was more like, our school has this program, and if you like this program, you come. So it's more like, if you like this teacher, you come. And my students were growing. I was teaching from 2nd to 8th graders. And so it was like, I have different classes.
Wow.
And so like students were like, I really love that class. The teacher is so cool. So they're like coming. And also, if you know Asian culture, like learning English is like a huge thing, especially like after school programs are like big things. So I kind of had like a good idea, like people, they want to learn a second language, especially English. And they love teachers who are like from other countries too. And so I came back from Hawaii, and I looked 10, and I kind of just look like a foreigner in a way. Okay. And sometimes like I speak more English than Chinese in class, just like want them to know like I actually know how to speak English. And you just have to know the culture, and then to like fit in, and to make yourself look like you're not really Taiwanese. And so
wow, interesting.
A lot of times it's like psychology though, right? Like I go to class, I have to dress like I'm a foreigner sometimes. So I look like, oh, you're really different, and you really like speak English. Like you really from America? They thought I was from America because just like the way I dress. And I don't know if that really helped, but like I felt like it was really like something attracting like students to my classes.
That's interesting. So starting your company as an international student must have been daunting. What are the biggest fears that you had when you started it, and how did you get over those?
Ooh, I remember when I just started, I was like, because I literally just graduated from my degree as a teacher, but I was like, I never done this before. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to be a good teacher. I don't know like what kind of stuff I can actually like teach them. I just feel like I'm not a teacher. How can I do this? But literally just like fake it until you make it. It's literally just like do it. You don't wait till like, oh, I have enough materials, or you wait till like I have enough students, or you're waiting for the best timing. I don't think that was like something you actually need to worry about, because I feel like I was worrying so much if I was good enough, if I have enough stuff, if I have enough students. I worry like, oh, people might think that I'm not good enough. You know, I was like waiting to, I don't know, I was just waiting for a timing, but I was like, no, I think I was chasing this person. I was like, no, if I keep waiting, I don't have money to like actually do this, building this relationship, or actually like really, you know, do something what I want if I keep waiting. And so I always like so worry about that. But then once I started it, students just come. They just come. And of course I put a lot of effort and to like, when I was like looking for students, I put a lot of my information about my like resume, how you were teaching and what you were teaching, and all that information you need to upload it to a website. And then so like students will message you like, can you be my tutor? Can you be my teacher? And stuff like that. And so I put so much time on it, and I have like people reviewing like my resume a lot for me. So of course I had to put time in it, not just like, oh, you're brave and then you can do it. You have to be prepared as well.
Okay. Was there a lot of upfront costs to get started when you do an online course like that?
So for the little business I do, actually the cost is the time. Like there's no money. I actually bought like a better laptop because I had a really crappy laptop. And then so I bought a laptop and iPad so then I can teach like writing stuff, right? And so that's like the cost. But then like you can cover that real quick. Yeah. So, and then of course, like you're going to spend so much time designing the materials and designing the course and really like build up your confidence and all that stuff. Like that's the time. But I don't think that's like a lot of money in it.
Because I know a lot of companies that talk to you so far, they're a little scrappy like that. They just look around their house. What do I have?
Yes.
And they just go. And so I talked to an acquisition, like a small acquisition. It was much different. But the smaller companies like this, it's just like, I got a truck, I got a screwdriver.
Yes.
Let's start tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what do I have? Like, I don't have much stuff, but I know like there's some websites can do this, and they're like webs, because I'm doing online business. So that's how I started actually.
Okay. So once you've launched, how did you get the word out about your English teaching, and what were some effective early marketing strategies that you tried?
Your reputations and referrals are so important. All my students are like, after I found those students, the rest were just referrals. The students, when they loved you, they told their boyfriends, they told their girlfriends, they told their cousins, they talked to everybody in their schools. And then, so I'm like getting all these students from like their relatives or their friends or just everybody. So I think if you have good reputations, they love you, they spread the words.
Yeah, I've always believed the adage that if you just are really good, money just comes to you, right?
Yeah.
Like people will throw things at you instead of always chasing the dollar. Just be good.
Yeah.
Right? So what kind of brand identity have you built for this teaching company, and how has that evolved in the past year? And what reputation do you want to have?
So actually, I was just actually thinking about this today, and obviously I don't even have like a big name out there yet, but I feel like maybe I could spend more time on social media and maybe like Instagram or TikTok. And I feel like nowadays people want to learn a second language, especially back home. I feel like a lot of people, they have like a America dream. They want to come to America. They want to like be able to like speak English and then come to this land and like travel and stuff like that. So I feel like there is a market there. And I want to be able to make this bigger. And obviously I'm in school and I have been in school for so long. This is my second master
Oh
and
my gosh.
so I feel like I haven't really spent so much time on that. And so I want to be able to like really take all I have learned in the past 3 years from my degrees and to put into it. So maybe like more social media, and I want to be able to like have the market in Taiwan because I feel like that's where the market is. And so I don't know if that answered your question. Like
It
how,
does.
yeah.
But your brand, like you as the brand, right?
Yeah.
How do you hope people see you as your brand?
How-
Like for instance, Nike has a brand,
Yeah.
right? And if you think of Nike, you know exactly what they're like, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
somebody says Alisa Chan's School of English,
Mm-hmm.
what does that brand say? What are you hoping it says to people?
Well, that's a really good question because I feel like I am really different from the normal after school program that or like a tutoring thing from back home in Taiwan because a lot of them focus on passing like their test or they have better grades in school. And like I think my is like I want you to have fun and really enjoy it. So I want when people like talk about Alisa Chen's class, it's like a lot of fun. You learn so much and you also learn the culture. And I actually want to bring my students to America to like travel and to like really experience the things we learn in class. So when they think of my class, they think about like the real English, the real culture. It's not just like, oh, I'm learning English because I want to pass the test, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think social media is a big thing now. I want them to like one day, like all of them can see my thing on social media. So that's the goal. Yeah.
In this past, it's been a few years, right?
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a few years.
Yeah.
So in the past few years, what have been some of the biggest unexpected hurdles that you've encountered running this business, and how did you get over them?
Because this business just myself right now. And so because I'm in the United States, most of my students are in Taiwan. And so time difference was making it really hard for me. Sometimes I had to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and to teach them because that's like their nighttime. They're done with school and after school program. That's the time, extra time they have, and they want to take class from me. So that was really challenging for me. So that was like the time I was thinking maybe I should hire people to do it for me. So I'm just like pulling students together and hire more people like to do this job for me. But at the same time, I love teaching so much. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing a lot of school, but teaching is like a relaxing thing for me to do. So I'm like trying to figure out like how I can balance it and to like make this bigger and more efficient, if that makes sense.
So you're currently learning from this challenge.
Yes.
Still happening.
I'm like, cause like I have school like before I had to wake up at 4:30 or like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I have school at 8 a.m. and then I have like my job at the same. So like I'm doing like a lot of different things too. So I'm like that's what I was telling you that after this MBA program, I want to like really use the knowledge I have been learning, and then to like do more for this because I've been in school for so long, and this is just like a side hustle that I've been doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see, what's next? Was there a moment that you thought, I never saw that coming, regarding the challenge of your business?
There are times I really just want to give up. I was like, well, I feel like I don't know where this is going. You know, there are like low times, and I'm not sure if this is gonna like make good money to help like really like help me in a way, like everybody needs money, but I wasn't sure if this is actually like working. Sometimes like doing that was just like dragging myself, like maybe I can still hold on to it after my school, like I can actually put more time into it and make it more successful, make more people see my thing, but it's just been like hard sometimes, like when I have like my school and like time difference, like physically, like I can't really put up with myself, like with students. Actually, I had like cut down a lot of students because
Really?
I just can't handle, and like because I've been in school for so long and my physical, like my body can't handle it. I can feel I'm getting sick because I'm doing too much stuff, right? And so I've been cutting students. So I raised my price, and just because I want to chase them away. I was like, maybe in the future, if like it's cheaper, maybe I have discount, like I'll let you know. But now, like, I kind of just raise up money to like get them away from me. So that's like the challenge, like physically and like just so much stuff in my life.
It's very interesting. A lot of businesses I've talked to, they get to a certain point. Like the beginning is finding clientele.
Yeah.
That's like, I'll do anything. I'll go anywhere to get these clients. And then eventually they just start coming in.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you have to choose which ones you want to do. And this is a very normal thing I've heard from every person I've talked to. It doesn't matter which industry. Every industry is like, in the beginning, I'd go anywhere. I'd go to, to the bottom of Utah to do a thing. And now it's like, I don't work the weekends. And let me see the job. I'm not interested in this. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know about that, but interesting.
Yeah. What's a significant lesson you've learned the hard way in your entrepreneurial journey? And can you share the story behind that lesson?
Well, I feel like I'm a go-getter. Like if I have some ideas, I'm just going to try it out. Sometimes like it's really embarrassing, like the way I did things. I was like, oh, like so embarrassing. Like, why would I tell them, like, like when I was trying to like get students, and I'm just, because I was new, I didn't know how to get students. And so I would literally try any ways to do it. And also like the pricing for my lessons and all that stuff, like I'm not sure. And so also like I would go to some after school programs to like work there so I can get an idea like, oh, what the students actually like nowadays, and what's the price, and what are these companies, these after school programs, what are these people doing? And so like it's really hard, but then like I have to like really try a lot of different things to get to where I'm today, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't really feel comfortable with a lot of things, I just did it anyway.
The fake it till you make it thing?
Yeah, fake it until you make it. That's like the whole thing. I feel like I'm a person like I want it, but if I don't do it, I will regret. So you just gotta fake it until you make it.
There's this thing somebody told me once a long time ago, which was, and it kind of goes along with this. It's in 4 years, you could have you could have an MBA or a master's degree or whatever, right? You could have a bachelor's degree in 4 years, or you could just be 4 years older.
Yeah.
And so you might as well do something in this time, because when you look back, right now, you're going to be thinking back to this person here, and is that person going to be proud?
Yes.
Right? Or upset?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How has the local community here, perhaps at the university, within this community, influenced and shaped your business journey?
Well, obviously, I'm in the MBA program, and I feel like, my family has a business, but I never thought I wanted to go into business at all. And so I was just like pursuing my education journey for the past years, and but I feel like MBA program really helped me to like open my mind and just open my eyes, like just think differently, I guess. And of course, like there are some classes like finance we talked about, like in finance class, I had to struggle so much because that's not something I'm really good at. But that helped me to like understand a little bit how company works with their money, their capital is so important, right? And so I feel like definitely the programs that I've been learning here at UVU really helped me to like be more a critical thinker. There are always solutions for problems, and depends on how you think about these problems. So yeah.
You sound so smart.
I wish I was fake it. I'm faking it.
Faking it right now?
I'm faking it.
So if you could go back to the very beginning, what's one thing you would have done differently?
If I go back to the beginning, you know what? I feel like I would never change anything.
Really?
Because
If you could go tell your first person, here's a shortcut or something, would you be able to do that?
no, I would not.
Wow.
Because
You nailed it.
I feel like I needed those experiences. And as an educator, I feel like those journey also help me to help my students too. And I think I needed those things.
Wow. I don't think anybody's ever said that. Wow. And you know what? I think you're right.
Right.
Because if you don't, you need a little struggle.
Yeah.
You know, you need to,
Yeah.
I think you learn better when you struggle yourself and not just get the answers. Mm-hmm. What's your most crucial piece of
Piece of
pizza?
pizza.
Piece of pizza.
I love pizza.
Yeah. I'm going to cut this part. But I had this friend in high school, these two friends that would fight all the time. And one, I don't know if you saw like Little Caesars.
Uh-huh.
Like they say pizza, pizza. But one of them thought he said piece of pizza. He's like, he says pizza, pizza. And he's like, I know. He's like, no, it's pizza, pizza. He's like, that's what I said.
Pizza.
And they just go back and look at. What's your most crucial piece of advice for someone just starting out doing something like this? Like if they wanted to start an online, it doesn't necessarily have to be education, but if they wanted to start something online, what would your biggest piece of advice be?
Well, not necessarily education, but when you asked me this question, I was thinking about my older sister because she met a guy in Thailand, and so they moved there, and she's pregnant now, but they really need money. And so I told her, do an online business and just teach, because so we also like we did our college degrees like in the United States. So obviously she also lived in the States for a long time. And so if you have that background, a lot of people are gonna want to learn from you. And so because that's what I'm doing, so like I think it's a really good thing, help you to make a lot of money. So I was telling her that she should also have an online business. And she was like, so what should I do? I don't have a teaching degree, or I don't have like a teaching background. How should I do? I literally just tell her like, fake it until you make it. That's like my advice for her, literally, because you're always waiting for one day. If you have enough stuff, enough skills to do something, you would never have that one day. Yeah. So actually, I was seeing somebody writing on the board I have outside my office. You can write a piece of advice, right? And someone say, it's one day or day one.
Wow.
So you're going to wait for one day, or you're going to stay from day one. Even you don't have a lot of stuff, skills or whatever, like do it, just do it.
You're really good at motivating. You know that? You should be a motivational speaker.
No, thank you.
Looking ahead the next 5 years, what's the boldest vision you have for this class, for your English class, that might surprise people?
In the future?
Yeah.
You know, I always had this dream, but it's a dream. I don't know if it's going to come true.
This might be day one.
I want to be able to have like my pictures like around, at least in Taiwan or maybe the world. So that's like the dream, that people know about me and about what I do, like for the lessons that they can have, or just about my business.
Interesting. So what's one common misconception people have about learning English from Chinese, or having or about running an online teaching business? And what's the reality?
I feel like not necessarily like for the language, but I feel like teaching online this topic, I feel like a lot of people don't really understanding like sometimes when you're teaching is not just teaching something. Sometimes it involves with like patience and like building relationship with your students. And if you're not really a people person, if you don't like people, like it's not good for you. Because I have some students, they are like severely like, they have some mental issues and they have like ADHD or like just a lot of like interesting things going on in their lives. And so every time it's my class, every time I always ask them about their week, about their day, and about their lives. And you would be surprised how much like they're going through in their lives. And so I feel like my student loves me because they love me so much is because there is this relationship building going on. So if you're struggling with that kind of stuff, I think you will struggle with this type of business, I would say.
Cool. So you'd have to like people, right?
Yes.
Even if you're a people person, you'd have to be at least
Yep.
not a jerk.
No. And it's especially you want to build long-term relationship with them. You have to like sincerely like really care about them. You really want to help them because I really want to help this this community or like students. I really want to help them to like learn good English. I want them to be successful. And I love my students. And so that's why like I love doing that, if that makes sense.
Wow. You sure you don't want to be a motivational speaker? All right. So balancing studies and business is tough. So what's one thing that you do daily that keeps you focused in order to manage through through your calendar?
Ooh, I would say Asians don't really say that a lot, what they're good at. But I feel like I've been in America for so long, I'm just like, oh, I'm good at. Well, okay, so back home I wouldn't say that, but I feel like I'm really good at time managing. So I sometimes it could be in the morning or at night. I look at my schedule for the next day, and I know like what I need to do. And sometimes for some jobs, like there's some messages coming in, and just interrupt my whole schedule. But I'm really good at like solving things and then make things done, like just come and go really fast. And so I feel like that's like, I don't know if that's a talent, that's a gift, but that's just something I'm really good at. So I feel like I don't think I have any good advice. I just feel like I'm very organized person. And so if you have a lot of stuff going on, you just make sure you're disciplined. You're really managing your time wisely.
Okay, so was that self-taught or is that something that like you learned as you grew up? Was that like your family taught that? Where'd you kind of get that sense of time management?
Maybe just in my blood, Asian.
Being Asian?
Well, I think that's self-taught. Well, also in schools, I feel like, on Canvas, you always have like assignments. And I kind of just look at those timing and see, okay, I have this much stuff I have to do. Then how long do I give myself this time to finish this assignment? And how much time do I give myself to like study for this test? And so I feel like I really care so much about my education. And I think that's also like maybe my family, my parents taught me, like they taught me like what is important in your life right now and you have to prioritize them. And so, yeah, there's no way you can fail.
I've heard this one, and this is one thing that I try, but it's pretty similar. Maybe it's pretty similar, but it's called the one big thing. So you wake up and you go, what's the one thing that you have to get done today that if you didn't get done, you'll be upset tomorrow? Once you focus and get that done, then you can do the next thing. But it has to be in the order of like importance, right? Otherwise, you're just chasing a bunch of stuff and you never get anything completed. And that kind of sounds like that. But it sounds like you do a lot what I do, where you just plot out your entire week.
Oh, yeah.
Are you pretty good at like staying on task?
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Well, but I'm like,
practice that.
I'm trying new things right now because for this week, I want to try to wake up at 5:30, and then there's like some stuff I want to do before 8 o'clock. And so before I go to bed, I look at my schedule. It's like, okay, I wake up at 5:30, and then I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this. But if I fail, this is also like a mental thing too, because I'm really hard on myself. And if I don't really get to my goal or get to finish the things I said I want to do, I need to do, I would get really, really frustrated and really hard on myself. And I would literally tell myself, you are a failure.
Oh my gosh.
I really would do that to myself. But I'm like practicing something about like being nice to myself. So like this morning, I didn't wake up at 5:30. I was like, okay, now I want to practice like to love myself, tell myself it's okay. Right. And there's just a lot of things I'm doing right now. So
yeah. The human mind is crazy. If you weren't running your teaching business, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
oh, there's so many things I want to do. I love fashion. And my mom went to Japan for a couple of years. She went to a fashion school. And so growing up, I kind of have that background. Just like when I get out of the door, my mom was like, there was like more than 3 colors. Do you want to go change, or why are you wearing that pair of shoes? And it's like growing up, I have that kind of sense, like, the colors and the outfit and stuff. And so I wanted to have a fashion little shop, like a company. I'm not sure what it is yet, but also like I was thinking I want to learn more about making clothing and stuff like that. And so if I don't have this, I might start, or I can maybe start after school, like a fashion, like a clothing kind of store.
Wow. What do you think? What skills do you have? Do you think would transfer over to that pretty easily?
That's a good question. I have people. I don't think I have like a lot of skills, but I feel like I love clothing, and so I can do colors and stuff. And I think the main thing is like I have people around me. They can help me with this business.
Thank you again for being on my podcast. I've learned a ton about what you do. I had no idea about any of this, and
Cool.
it's great. So where could people find you if they're interested in what you're doing?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. So that's just something I also just started since I started UVU MBA program. I learned about this is like a platform people can meet each other. So you can find me up there. And if you're interested, you can find me on Instagram too.
Okay, and I'll take all your information. I'll put it into our thing. Is there any self promotions you want to do? Anything coming up that you want to? If somebody's listening to this and is interested, is there anything that you want to tell them?
Well, I feel like life is hard, and there are a lot of things you probably want to do, and you were just thinking one day you want to do it. But remember, is one day or day one.
True.
And fake it until you make it. Nobody knows exactly what they're doing until they start doing it, and then they make mistakes, and then they fix things, and then that's how you make things work.
Perfect. Thanks again. Thank you for your
course.
time. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you. Welcome back from the interview. It was a really good conversation I had with Alisa. I mean, her journey, to be honest, is truly captivating. So, hey, Becky, like, what were your initial thoughts from the interview? What kind of jumped out at you?
One, she's awesome.
That's true.
Yeah, she's awesome. Her story is so powerful and personal. Like, it's really relatable. Like, that's something anybody can relate to. The unexpected way that she started her business during the pandemic, what a hard way to start a business. Like, really?
I mean, everything was closed during that time. Like,
Yeah.
she just had to, like, find a way to get something started.
I loved how positive she was and how she, like, truly shined through everything. I found it so incredibly touching, and how she just went for it. And how she set a goal to do things. Like, she needed money for a personal goal and a relationship, and she did it.
Yeah. When you meet her, She's a really good
Well,
personality.
now she's on my list
Of people to meet.
of people to meet.
She's always at the school. You'll meet her. And so that leads us perfectly to our NBA theme for the day. Her business wasn't born from a strategic 5-year plan. It was born out of a real-time, immediate need. And this illustrates what I like to call bootstrapping brilliance, which is kind of broken up into a couple parts, like leveraging scarcity, authenticity, and relational capital in early stage ventures, things like that.
Wait. Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
Explain to me what bootstrapping brilliance is, because I don't have a clue. Help me learn.
You're cute. Sure. So let's start with my first bullet point here. Leveraging scarcity. So Alisa's situation created what we like to call forced innovation. She needed money. She couldn't work a traditional job due to her visa, and she was a new graduate. And so that scarcity of options pushed her to look at her existing skills. She could teach English. And so she took that and she ran with it. She literally just needed a laptop and an iPad to get started. And that's in essence what I call bootstrapping. Like starting a business with minimal or no external funding. And most people would think that you would need a huge loan or an office space or, things like that. But Alisa proved that you can begin with almost nothing with just her skill and time.
I think it's crazy. She started with just a laptop and an iPad. I can't even imagine, not having this whole area. Yeah. And I also love how scrappy she was. And she just figured it out and made it happen. And how she found different students who just needed her help with English. Daily English.
Yeah.
That's an everyday thing.
And we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, which was like a niche audience. Mm-hmm. So, this niche discovery was kind of a direct result of resourcefulness, like going online, finding all this stuff, to get started. And that kind of leads us to our second part, which is the authenticity and the relational capital. So it's two parts, the authenticity and then the relational capital. So Alisa didn't start with a marketing budget. She really didn't have anything to begin anything with, but she had something that was more powerful than a marketing budget. She had a reputation and her referrals. Like through the whole podcast or through the interview, you kind of heard how everybody enjoys her so much that they're often referring her to other people to a point that has way too many students from time to time.
She draws you in with her positivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Her positivity is just drawing people in.
Right, and that's what we call relational capital. It's a big fancy word for building value through genuine connections.
A couple things. I believe that if you're good at something, you're going to succeed. The money will start coming in. And Alisa approached teaching by building relationships. And this is something that I think you and I both do it when we go out in public, is asking people how they are, how their week's going. You have to be personable. She even talked about how her students love her because she builds a relationship with them. Not just hey, how are you? But she genuinely builds
because she cares about her students.
Because she cares. She also said one thing that stuck out is you have to like people to do this kind of business. Can you imagine just going to work, going and doing things every day, and you are not a people person?
Especially as a teacher, if you don't like people.
You don't like these people, you're just funny. Blah, I'm just here. And I think that's why her students stick around. She truly wants to help them succeed. And the whole real English, real culture idea is not just passing a test. It's real life. Like, how many people come from different countries to the United States and they have the lack of English?
Yeah, and they need that ability.
Like, you need that ability. It's just like us going somewhere else
Yeah.
and not having the ability to talk to people in other countries.
Yeah, when I was in Peru, I had that problem, and having somebody that's actually teaching me how to do it would have been super helpful.
Yeah.
But that authenticity is basically what you're talking about. Authenticity is a fancy word for everything that you just said. Being kind, being friendly, that people like you because you are just a good person. But that authenticity, yikes, creates deep loyalty, right? But Alisa's entire journey is just kind of a masterclass at that unyielding entrepreneurial grit. She faced significant personal challenges with the pandemic, a breakup, and being from a new country, and that crazy time difference with her students. She was waking up at 4 a.m. sometimes. It was crazy.
Waking up at 4 a.m., it's crazy. It really is. Been there. Like, I've done it. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
really
if you have
rough.
to teach. Wake up at 4 and started teaching.
And immediately started teaching. I can't even imagine like how she did it. Like, I can't even imagine rolling out of bed at 4 a.m. and just wanting to talk. Like, I can't even think later in the morning. Not even. But she did mention a couple of things. She mentioned getting sick from doing too much. And been there. I mean, doing too much and not being able to balance out your life. It can take a toll mentally and physically, like on your body. And one thing that she had to do was eventually, like, she had to raise prices.
Yeah.
Hoping that like people would back off and she could have like a little bit of like of a break.
Yeah.
And there's even a time that she had to like cut people out and be like, I can't take you at this time. And it sounds like she really had a tough decision for a business owner, like having to raise prices so that, because she was she's so popular.
Yeah.
Like, she draws you to her.
Yeah.
Like, it brings me back to Tina, how positive Tina was.
Yeah.
And I see Alisa that way. So I have to meet her because that's one thing.
Mackenzie was like that too.
Yeah.
A lot of people we talk to just have that energy.
It just pulls you in. It's not something that's not like talking to somebody and you're like, bleh, I don't want to talk to them anymore. But how positive people are.
Yeah.
They just draw you back and draw you back.
But her getting up at 4 a.m. to do this, right? And doing it so often it was making herself sick. That's really a testament to her grit. Mm-hmm. Like, and this is an example of strategic capacity management, right? Like, for her, she doesn't have it quite 100% down, but understanding your limits and making tough decisions to maintain quality and avoid burnout is super important. She's getting better at it, it sounded like, as the time went on. But, you know, she just has that personality of go, go, go. Like, she had that philosophy, she said, which I super love. Or she took it from that whiteboard in her office with the one day or day one. And it's not just a cute saying. I mean, I think it's a powerful call to action for anybody hesitating to start. It's about proactive entrepreneurship, taking that leap even if you don't feel 100% ready.
Who feels 100% ready? How many business owners have we talked to that are just like, can jump in feet first?
Yeah, but a lot of them have that ability though. I think the people that are not like getting ahead are the ones that aren't just doing it, like just going out there.
Yeah.
And just getting it done. They're going to, like Alisa was saying, you're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes, but don't let it affect you. Just go, you know? So for our listeners, whether you're dreaming of starting a business or currently navigating these early stages, Alisa's story offers incredibly valuable lessons. It shows that you don't always need huge capital to begin. you can leverage your existing skills, even in challenging circumstances. It underscores the profound power of building genuine relationships and an authentic brand. And most importantly, it highlights that sheer grit, the learning as you go, and the daring to start on day one to turn an idea into a truly brilliant, successful venture.
I know, but look how she heard venture and she was able to talk to her sister about it, because it was one of those things where her sister's like, I need a little bit of money.
Yeah,
And
that's
she's
just
like,
her
start
personality,
a business.
right? She
Yeah.
was just like, I know what can make money. Let me give you a couple pointers.
Yeah.
And she's going into that fashion line. She's got a lot of stuff on her stuff. So let's keep this sweet and to the point. If you
Alyssa,
like,
I'm coming to meet you.
uh-oh, that's a threat.
That's not a threat.
Run, Alyssa.
It's a promise.
Run, Alyssa. Just kidding. So if you like what we're doing with this podcast, please do all the things on social media, do the like and the comments and all that other stuff. Leave a comment
We want to know your
for
thoughts.
Alyssa.
For Alyssa, if you have comments for Alyssa, but leave us.
Let us know how we're doing.
I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Your emotional outbreaks.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't want to know that.
Yeah. Please don't tell us your personal crap. We'll delete it. No. But coming up, I'm really excited about the next podcast. I'm really excited. So Ben, a person I know from school, he runs a florist shop and he also does wedding venues. Oh man, such a great conversation. It's another long one. So if you guys weren't too fond of the retro store one, it's another one. But Ben is so smart and he just has a lot to say about his.
Good. I hope we can pull him in. Your mom made the comment of how our nephew Ben was so intrigued and so drawn to the retro store.
Yeah.
He learned a lot. And he's 11.
Yeah.
And he was just like so drawn to the way that Kai spoke. It was just one of those things.
There's a lot. I'm getting a lot of comments outside of the podcast, but they don't comment. They don't, they're all kind of silent and behind the scenes. And so
we get a lot of verbal comments on the way people think and what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we need to improve on, but nobody puts it online.
Yeah. So there you go.
Perfect.
All right. See you next week.